Super Dirt Week, racing's biggest party, is all new this year. It's racing, music, camping, and a huge Saturday night finale. See your dirt car racing heroes battle wheel to wheel all week for a chance at glory. Get your tickets at superdirtweek.com or call 844-DIRT-TICKS. The 52nd running of Super Dirt Week, October 7th through the 12th. Be there.
And welcome in. The Kyle McCord Show is back. Brian Higgins, there he is. QB1 Kyle McCord. Welcome into the chat. Get your questions going. You guys know how this works by now. You ask questions in the chat. I'll relay them to Kyle. We'll hang out here for about a half hour or so here on a Tuesday morning. And different vibe this week here, Kyle, coming off a loss. You know, I was trying to look back. Like, this is very unusual for you, right? Like, you don't deal in losing football games very often.
Yeah, I think I can count on one hand how many times in college I've lost. Obviously, 3 times to Michigan, and then lost to Oregon early on my freshman year, and I guess Georgia last year too. So six loss in 4 years, but they never get easier. They all suck.
And it's also strange too. You look at all those, certainly games you've started, right?
Mm-hmm.
When was it? High school, even earlier? The last time you've actually lost a game and then started a game the next week? Like, these have been like season-ending losses or into the postseason or whatever. Like, it's been a minute, right, since you've had to turn around and go back out again.
Junior year, we lost to IMG my junior year of high school. That was the last time, like you said, lost, and then had to turn around and kind of regroup and get ready to go. But junior year we lost to IMG, and then ended up finishing this season undefeated and win the state championship. So same type of mindset.
All right, so that is good past history to go on there to turn it around here. What is the vibe around here? Because you know what it is, friends brought in here, when there's coaching changes, it is to turn around attitudes like that. Like, I was talking to you beforehand, like around here we're like, oh, one loss can turn into, you clearly have the opposite history and opposite opinion. How do you avoid one loss spiraling at this point?
I think the biggest thing, going back and looking at the game, obviously you make a play here, you make a play there. It's a completely different game. But I feel like the mindset now is that we'd much rather have it happen at this point in the year, regroup, learn from it, and then get ready to go on a run, rather than, kind of like how last year went for me, going undefeated and then losing the last game of the year.
Right.
And then having kind of all your goals for the year come to an end. So I feel like we still have everything that we want in front of us. I feel like the conference is still obviously wide open. The season's young. There's still a lot of games left to be played and a lot of opportunities. So it stings without a doubt, but at the same time, there's still a lot of room to grow, a lot of room to get better, and a lot of opportunities to still stack wins and do what we set out to do at the beginning of the year.
We got questions coming in here in the chat. Get your questions into the chat. It is the Kyle McCord Show. It's a Q&A. You guys fire away. Your chance. Unique here. Your chance to get questions in to the quarterback. Jen says, we love you, Kyle. So you still have the fan support there. This from Josh Dowling, kind of what we're talking about. And you weren't a part of it. Like, the last few years, we had a 6-0, and then it went lost 5 straight, and then 1-1, so 7-5. Last year was 4-0, I think, and then finished 6-6. So fans around here are used to seeing hot start and then You kind of said it there. Why is this different? Because I mean, there's so many different faces, right? Yourself included.
Yeah, I think it's just a different mindset. Like I said earlier, everything that we want is still in front of us, and obviously losing sucks, especially when we had a chance to go win it at the end, despite, in my mind, how bad we played. But I think you just have to have a optimistic mindset and be positive about it. The season's not over by any stretch, and we still have a lot of opportunity to go out and win a lot of games. And I feel like the one thing that I really took away from the loss is, like I said, regardless of how bad we played, we still fought back and had a chance to win it at the end. And I think that says a lot about the team, that regardless of how we might have started or how the game was going, we were resilient enough to go and keep fighting, even when things weren't looking great. So I think we have all the keys and all the pieces, all the players, all the coaches that we need to go out and do what we want to do. And I think at this point, we showed ourselves that we can beat anybody, but at the same time, if we don't show up and play, we can lose games that, we probably shouldn't.
Yeah, you mentioned resiliency. I mean, you throw the pick six there. It felt like the game was over, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys had the lead, so clearly it was not. How did you come back from that play specifically? Because those are ones, right, where it can completely air out of the balloon, sideline done, and then all of a sudden you're down by 30. You guys, within whatever it was, 10, 15 minutes of game time from there, had actually retaken the lead in the game. How did you bounce back from that?
Yeah, obviously that was a tough one, the pick six, but I feel like everything that we've been preaching this offseason is how are you going to respond when, things go wrong and when things go bad. And so going down and scoring a touchdown in the next drive, and then ultimately, like you said, getting the lead. That was kind of what I was talking about. Just the resilience of the team is a good sign. And on top of that too, like on the sideline, there wasn't any finger pointing. Like the defense, wasn't, what the hell's going on? Like there was no panic, no, I guess, guys going against each other. We stuck together, even when things weren't looking great. And I feel like that's a good sign. And so a lot of positives to take away from obviously a bad night. But, like I said, the season's still young and you just got to keep building.
That's big what you said there, too, right? That there wasn't, discord on the sideline, right? That it wasn't fraying at the seams, right? Like, I'm sure you've been around teams where that happens, right? Where one side of the ball is better than the other. Like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah.
To not have that has to keep you guys pushing in the right direction.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like that just is kind of, it embodies the locker room. I think we all love each other, or I know we all love each other, and that, we want to win. Like, I want to play well for the defense, and I know the defense wants to play well for me. And, I don't think the game necessarily came down to one play, that really lost us the game. It was a combination of plays. And I know that Coach Fran, hearing him talk, he tries to take the loss on himself. But, in my mind, like it shouldn't, like if it was up to me and I played to the best of my ability, it wouldn't even come down to that situation there at the end. And, I know all the guys on the offense and defense, all the coaches feel like they could have done more to help us win. And so that was encouraging to see after the loss, like in the locker room there, even after the game was over, there still wasn't any panic because, like I said, we still know we have a lot of opportunity and everything we want is still in front of us.
Fran, he went a lot of third person yesterday, right? He was calling himself Coach Fran. Does he do that to you guys too? Does he go Coach Fran?
Yeah, a little bit. He gets into that mode.
Yeah, that was him talking about the kind of the fourth down play at the end of the game. All right, what do we got here? Josh Dowling. Oh, no, we already had Josh's question. We got SU Woohoo, who was just resubscribed for 34 months and says, I subscribe for Kyle McCord. Okay, there we go. We like that. Can you take us through the dive into the end zone that you had? What did you see? What were you feeling? What went on in that play?
So we had a little bit of it was an RPO called, and so I was going to throw it to Treb there on the left, and then kind of just felt a defender come free off the right, so made him miss, and then just got out of the pocket and saw an opportunity to run, and it was really like a kind of one-on-one play there with the number 4, the corner. I didn't know how he was gonna, try to take me down, and I figured if I'm, at the 2-yard line, if I jump, there's really there's no way that I don't score. So, just kind of by any means, and probably just watching too much Josh Allen, being up here in New York for too long. Kind of channel my inner Josh Allen there. All
right. You were also channeling former Syracuse quarterback around here, Eric Dungy, who wasn't afraid to jump in. He sort of would go with like, he did this a few times where he'd almost like karate kick somebody in midair.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's the wisest thing, but that could be the next step you can work into your game.
Put that in my notes.
Yeah, he actually he does a bunch of stuff with us here, Kyle. He actually did it at Miami one year. He did it, and it didn't work, so he did it again the next play.
That's resilience.
Yeah, it's resilient, and it kind of worked. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. We had to get it done there. We talked earlier this year, right? That was your first career rushing touchdown. Was that the celebration you wanted? You were losing at the time. I know you have something. You had a little ball spin. It's probably not the best time to break out your cellies, right?
No, I mean, I kind of got up. The fall didn't feel too great. Got up, and obviously we were still losing. Just get back to the sideline and get back to work.
All right, we got Kyle McCord here. Get your questions in the chat. We'll be hanging out here till about 11:30 or so. What do we got? Josh says, my son loves watching you play. The dive play is real Josh in as well. So there we go. You've got Josh and his kid as Kyle McCord fans. Same with Showbro Mike, a big fan of your style of play. Stephen, North Syracuse, wants to know about comparing depth and talent of your receiving cores from last year to this. Obviously, you played with like only NFL guys at Ohio State. It's one of the more ridiculous receiving rooms that you're ever going to see. What was it there? Mm-hmm. It's almost unfair to compare that to anywhere to what you got right now. Yeah,
I think obviously, like you said, Ohio State, especially at receivers, kind of like a NFL factory. Guys like Marvin are once in a lifetime. Yeah. Type of players, but I think here the receiver room is deep. Obviously without Zeke Haynes on Friday, guys had to step up, and I feel like they did a good job. And you look at the stats, I think there's a handful of guys who had a good amount of yards, like 40, 50, 60 yards, and then I think obviously Arande, I put him into that receiving group. I think they're elite. And I feel like all their kind of skill sets complement each other to where, we have some guys who are more the speed, vertical threats down the field, and then other guys like, Jackson Meeks who are great with the underneath routes, more physical receiver, possession receiver. So I think they complement each other well, and it's a deep room. And it's a young room, too, and I can see them getting better every single week.
Trevor had 101 in the game on 13 targets, 10 catches. Darrell Gill, he had a great close to last year as a freshman. We haven't seen much of him yet this year, but you mentioned no Zede, so he played some more. He had 55 yards. LeQuint had 43 out of the backfield. Umari had the long touchdown. He had 84, 67 on that play. Meeks had 40, and Arande had 12. So we got to see the balance. A guy like Gill, right? And Hatcher's been starting, but he hadn't really factored a lot before that touchdown play that he had last week. What's it like when you're getting those different guys in the mix here as you get further into the season? Yeah,
I feel like the more game reps that we can get, and obviously, as many practice reps as we can get to, the more chemistry we can get, and just getting on the same page. And I feel like it's good for those young guys to play. And we had a pretty good rotation going there. Obviously. Going back and watching the film, it was clear that they were going to do everything they can to, take OG out, and pretty much every single play he was doubled. And I think that's kind of going back to last year, similar to the treatment that Marvin got. Obviously, Marvin was outside, and Arande's more in the slot and at tight end. So it's a different type of defense that you'll see, but it opens up other guys and allows other guys to have one-on-one opportunities and make plays. And I felt like they did that. Obviously, Treb with another big game, 100 yards. And then, like you said, the younger guys, Mari and Gill stepping up and making some big plays as well. Was crucial for the offense.
All right, so take me through that with Arande. I imagine a lot of those plays he's your first read, or certainly high on that list. Sometimes he's doubled. Sometimes he's got to help out, chip blocking because their pass rush was excellent, certainly in the first half. On Friday. How do you see Arande coming off? How quick do you look at it and evaluate before you move on to option two?
Obviously, two things matter: the play call and then the coverage and the look that you get pre-snap. And I could kind of tell. I could tell early on that they were going to try to take him away. With the underneath coverage. They would put, either underneath coverage inside and a safety over top and outside, or vice versa. And they were going to make it a priority to try to take him away. And I tried to get him the ball a few times. Going back, probably wish I looked his way a little more. A guy like that only having 2 catches isn't great. So I need to get the ball to Arande more for sure. But like I mentioned earlier, it allowed other guys to get one-on-one opportunities, and I feel like they did a good job of capitalizing.
Yeah, what's the balance with that? Because, if he's double-teamed, it's not necessarily smart to force the ball in there, but at the same time, right, you're like, well, there's an NFL dude there. Yeah. How do you balance that idea in your head when you see him out there?
Yeah, you want to get him the ball as much as you can, because when you get the ball to 19's hands, good things happen, and obviously he's going to go on and play a long time in the NFL. So, and being the quarterback, it's my job to get him the ball. So I have to do a better job of that. But at the same time, I think he understands, okay, they're trying to double me. Like, other guys are going to have to step up and make plays. And the one thing about OG that won't go down in, the stats or whatever, but he never complains.
Right.
Not once did he come up to me and was like, dude, you need to give me the ball. Like, he understood that they were going to try to take him away. And he's extremely selfless, and he doesn't really care if he's getting the ball or not. He just wants to win. And when nobody was more hyped when we scored there at the end than he was, and he didn't have a catch on that entire drive. So I think that just says a lot about who he is as a player and as a person. So like I said, I got to get him the ball more, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun playing with the guy who puts the team before himself.
Yeah, like the diva wide receiver can be a thing, but that ain't him. That's not the way he goes about it. We got Kyle here. It is the Kyle McCord Show. Get your questions in the chat. We'll relay them directly to Kyle here. We got one from Andrew Luck. Is it Nerd? It's not it's Nerd with an extra A in the middle. I don't know how to pronounce that. He wants to know what your goal is against Holy Cross. Obviously, win the game. But you know how it is against the FCS opponent. What do you guys want to come out of this game looking like?
I think just getting back to playing our standard of football. And I feel like we're starting to scratch the surface week 1 and week 2. And obviously week 3 did not play to our level that we expect. And it doesn't matter who comes out there, whether it's Holy Cross or, the Bills. Like our level of preparation, our level of effort, our level of execution should not change across the board. And I feel like the biggest message that we've been preaching is it's about us. And whoever, comes out there on Saturday, that's just who we have to beat. But it's always about us as a team and how we play.
I hope it's not the Bills. Did you see them? My goodness, that was a buzzsaw last night.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, they're well, you saw him in person a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That Josh Allen guy, he's pretty good, huh?
Not bad at all. He's a good player.
Like, when you're watching, a guy like him, is that even possible to watch and take stuff away because he's so, unicorny?
Yeah.
Or is there stuff you can take away from a guy like him?
I love watching NFL guys play, especially in the offseason. Like, I'll go and I'll watch, 1 or 2 NFL games on film and just, try to pick stuff from, guys like C.J. Stroud and Matt Stafford and all those guys. But when you watch Josh Allen play, some of those throws he makes are just unfair. Like, his body's facing one direction, he just throws like a 45-yard dime to the other side of the field, and he's special. He's special, but he is fun to watch. He's entertaining. He runs around. He has fun. So there's a lot of good things to take away from his game, but not everybody's 6'5" and a crazy athlete like he is.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people walking the earth that can quite do it like that. When you're watching quarterbacks, do you want to watch now, this season, last season stuff in the pros? Do you look back like Brady historically, or is that just the game changes so much that there's not as much to take away from that?
No, I think, you definitely go back, and I think guys obviously like Brady who have played for a while, he has a million games you can go back and watch. And, I do like watching, guys now, and obviously the game changes a little bit, but there's still some things with a lot of things with the quarterback position that never change, like footwork and fundamentals and reading defenses and throwing on time. Like, that stuff's been going on forever. So you can go back and kind of pick any game from one of those greats and just watch and sit down and admire them.
All right, let's get some questions going to the chat here today for Kyle on the Kyle McCord Show. Get you ready for Cuse and Holy Cross coming up this Saturday in the Dome at noon. Then Kyle and the guys, they'll be on the road, not the whole time, but no more home games till September. They got 3 road games and a bye week coming up in October, so sold-out game in the Dome this Saturday. You mentioned Stroud. Obviously you know him. You played with him. When you watch a guy that so you probably understand how he processes seeing stuff, right? Does that help you even more knowing I understand how this guy's working through a play? Yeah.
Sitting behind him for 2 years was one of the best things that could have happened to me, being a young guy in college, and just seeing how he prepares, how he sees the game, and just being with him every day was awesome. And then obviously to see what he's gone on to do in the pros has been a lot of fun. And it hasn't been a surprise to me, the success that he's had. Just the way he carries himself, that's being around him taught me how to prepare throughout the week, how to watch film and how to just take care of your body and just be a pro. So watching him on Sundays and watching him on film is a lot of fun, knowing all the work that he puts in to get to that position.
Take people through that. So, we're sitting here. It's a Tuesday morning. You got a game on Saturday. How much film have you already watched this week right now?
I'd say on an average week, anywhere from 10 to 12 hours. So we're pretty early on. So probably say about four or five right now. So after the game, obviously you'll go back, say you play on Saturday, you'll watch the game film on Sunday and clean it up. And then Monday you come in and get ready to watch your opponent. Just watch a game, see how the D coordinator calls it. And then Tuesday, really first and second down, watching just their normal defense, base downs. And then Wednesday is really third down and red zone. And then you got to watch the 2-minute, how they call it at the end of the game versus end of the half, and just different situations like fourth and short, game on the line, all those different scenarios, you're watching throughout the week. So it definitely gets up there with the amount of film, the hours that I watch.
What's more important to you, seeing the other team's defense or going back and seeing yourself and saying, okay, this is what we did last week?
Both are important, but honestly, I think watching yourself is more important, because at the end of the day, they're gonna, there's only so many defensive calls that they can have, and you got to study it, and you have to be able to anticipate what they're gonna do and know what they're gonna do, but at the same time, like, you have to know the routes and the protections, and you have to be the biggest critic on yourself, so like the back of your hand. So when you do see their defense, okay, I have this route breaking this way, and you can start to anticipate it that way. But both are extremely important. But I think watching yourself is vital.
I was talking with Anish Shroff. He called the game on TV on Friday at Q Sky. He also does the Carolina Panthers on the radio with Luke Kuechly, who's probably going to be a Hall of Fame linebacker sooner. Apparently, Luke has literally a photographic memory. Like, if he watches it on film, he's like, I saw this play in week 6 in 2017. Yeah. I don't know if you quite got that, but when you're standing there at the line, how much you're like, okay, I know this because I did this one other time, or is it I know this because I saw it on film, or how do you process that?
Yeah, I think the more film you watch, the freer it allows you to play. And just like you mentioned, just see something and know that, okay, I've watched film on that. I've seen it in practice with the scout team, and it allows you just to play a step ahead. I went to the Manning camp this summer, and Peyton Manning, who's known for being one of the...
He's watching film right now, probably.
Yeah,
sending Eli a voice memo about something.
Known for being one of the smartest guys, was talking about how important it is to not only watch film on your opponent, but watch a lot of film on yourself, just throughout the week. Practice, and watching like your individual periods, and just being a critic, on yourself, and just cleaning up the smaller details that can fly under the radar.
Yeah, people say, practice is X amount of hours. Well, X times 2. You got to go back and watch it all and see it all that. All right, SU Woohoo wants to know. We know Justice Ross Simmons. He's back in the mix. I don't believe he was in the game on Friday. I don't recall actually seeing him out there. But when he gets back in there, what kind of weapon will he be for you?
Yeah, he played. He got in.
Did he get in a little?
A few plays.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's a really good player, obviously. Had 2 really good years at Colorado State. And so he's going to help the team a lot when he gets back. A guy who's seen a lot of football, played a lot of football, played in some big games. And, I think is going to add a lot of depth to the team. And he's, in my mind, a sort of multi-purpose receiver. And what I mean by that is, like, you can kind of line him up wherever, and he's going to do his job and make plays. So I'm excited to get him back to 100% and get him going.
Did he and Savion have a weird, Colorado State beef? That just occurred to me, because that game last year was bonkers when they played.
Yeah, it was.
Early days of Coach Prime, right?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard them two talk about it. I might have to bring that up in the locker room, though.
All right, just poke him a little. See if you can stir the pot. Savion was only there for a year, so I don't know how tied he is to all that. But that was, what was that? It was like week 2, week 3. It was like crazy late-night game last year. Like, this could be a whole lot of fun. Okay, what do we got here? My username is Big Poppy. Wants to know, how was Fran's post-game talk to the team with you guys on Friday night?
I think everybody was disappointed, frustrated for obvious reasons, but I feel like it was a wake up call for a lot of people. Understanding that we need to do more, we need to be better. But at the same time, season's early, and we still have all our goals in front of us. And so now, we realize we can beat anybody, but at the same time, like I said earlier, we can lose to anybody if we don't bring it every single day in practice and prepare like that. So we just have to get better and then go back and really lock into the smaller details and get ready to go on a run here.
I'm sure Fran has put you in positions of adversity, right, in like practice and stuff. But from like the outside, from like the moment Fran got hired till now, so like 10 months, smooth sailing, right?
Yeah.
Like from a public perception, it's got to be a little different, right, to have adversity that at least people are aware of this time, as opposed to manufactured in practice or whatever.
Yeah, and I feel like this is the first big test of who this team will be.
Yeah,
and I think that we need to come out and have a great week in practice, and this will really tell us who we are as a team. And anybody can get up in front of the media and talk when things are going great, and anybody can play quarterback when the team's winning and have fun. But when stuff doesn't go your way and it takes a left turn, I think who are you as a team is how you respond. And so I'm excited to see how we bounce back from it, and just how we practice and how we come out to play on Saturday. Like, I've never been more excited to get on a field and play against another team than I am this week, obviously, just given the way things went last week. And so, I'm excited to see what we do, and I have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, you said as like a quarterback, like a lot lands on you, right, from a lot of different directions. You certainly went through it last year. It landed on you after wins last year at Ohio State. How do you handle that when it comes your way? Because more does go to the quarterback than everybody else.
Yeah, like you said, it's a lot of fun when things are going great, but when things aren't going great, you have to be the guy that rallies everybody together and gets everybody back on that same page. And I was not happy after the loss. Didn't sleep too much, and just kept thinking about it, watching the film, and so no one was more angry after the loss. But at the same time, we have to learn from it. There's nothing we can do about it at this point other than just get better from it. And so, like you said, I went through it last year, so I'm pretty well versed in it. And the good thing about the difference from losing last year was last year we lost and that was it. Like the season was over. But now we have an opportunity to go and right the ship and still go out and accomplish all our goals that we set out to do.
Yeah, you said I think in this thing last week, right? Like that game last year, right? Like it still gnaws at you because you never had a chance to do anything about it, right? At least now you got a chance to do something, right?
Yeah, no, and that's exactly what I was just talking to Coach Fran about. Both losses sting, and they never, like, losing is never fun and it never gets easier. But at least now I have an opportunity to go out and go right, like I said, right the ship and correct the things that were wrong. And so I'm excited to do that. And another opportunity on Saturday to get going. And I told the guys this has to be the start of a run. Like, we can't let one loss, creep into, another game, and, just have to learn from it, cut it off, and, get ready to go on a run.
All right, time for one last question or two here for Kyle, if you got it in the chat. I feel I know the answer to this one, Kyle, based on how you're talking here. What is bigger for you, hatred of losing or love of winning?
Hatred of losing.
I can sense that. I can sense that. Is that a common answer amongst guys in your position, probably?
Yeah. I feel like it might be crazy to say, but winning is almost the expectation. And for me, everywhere I've been, I've won a lot. And it doesn't matter if it was Little League to high school to college. Like, everywhere I've gone, I've won a lot. And, I try to appreciate the wins, but at the same time, like, when I step on the field, like, I expect to win because of how I prepare, how I work in the off season. And, I know the guys around me feel the same way. Like, we want to win. And so when we lose, it's a bad feeling. And it's not fun, but definitely one that you have to learn and grow from.
All right, one more from the chat here from SU Woohoo. The defense has been doing these like shots of OJ during the game. Do you know anything about this? What's going on with those guys?
I think that's like their turnover.
Okay.
The thing is, after they get a turnover, I'm on the field, so I never see it until after the game, like pictures of it. I don't know whose idea that was, but I think that's pretty good. It's not. I don't think it's corny. Like some schools do some corny stuff after the turnover. So I guess that's like our new trademark thing.
Yep. Okay. He wants to know, do you know any details of the juice? Like pulp, no pulp? Like, do you have any idea what their pulp?
Yeah.
A shot of pulpy juice could be a problem, I feel, on the sideline.
I don't know. You got to ask one of the guys who got a turnover out of that juice is.
Okay. Yeah. We got to check that out. This is interesting questions, SU. These are the questions. This is why we come to the Kyle McCord Show for the behind the scenes. All right. There's our half hour, Kyle. Enjoy it this week against Holy Cross, and we'll do it again next Tuesday before you ship off to Vegas, okay?
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
There is Kyle McCord. Catch him on my show later this week as well. We'll be back with Orange Nation coming up at noon right here on Q Sports Talk.